what people misconstrued about greatness? What's the missing puzzle piece, right? Because it's like, of course, it's hard work, right? Of course, you have to have the mindset. What's the missing puzzle piece in greatness? That you can't just say it.
Well, I think there's a certain stubbornness that comes along with being great. I think people see greatness as kind of an easy road, right? It's like a one-path thing. You work hard, and then all of a sudden it happens. It don't work like that. There's a lot of darkness that comes from that as well. I mean, there's a lot of experiences, personal experiences that you go through that you use as fuel to propel you forward, whereas otherwise it would just be obstacles for others. It might even prevent them from going forward, right? Whereas for us, those moments do nothing but fuel us anymore. So there's a lot of the anxiety, right? The fear, the anger, all of that stuff plays a significant part in it, just as much as love does. And it's not easy. But if it was easy, I guess everyone would have a world full of lions. But lions need gazelles. So.
Exactly. You're at a different point in your career now. You're no longer on the court.
Yeah.
What's your inspiration now?
Fast forward 20 years from now. If basketball is the best thing that I've done in my life, then I failed. It's very simple mission, very simple quest, very simple goal. These next 20 years need to be better than the previous 20. Right? And it's as simple as that. And that's what drives me.
Feeling good, feeling great. This is episode 18, 1/22/23, 4:52 p.m. on the dot. He is I is he, WILLMATIC. That way. Man, I'm gonna come clean. Where were you the day that you learned of the tragedy of Kobe Bryant's passing? I feel like for me personally, that's just gonna be a day that will forever be like a scar. Like when you were a kid and you was probably playing a little bit too much, try to do a wrestling move that you shouldn't have been trying to do on the concrete. We've all been there. I know I have. You done bust your knee up on something. You done hit your shin. We still carry those scars as adults. I know I do. Let me speak for myself here. I am bruised and scarred and battered from all of the horseplay that I've, indulged in over the years as an adolescent. But, my point is this, right? That Kobe, that shit scarred me, man, for life. And like I said, bro, I would be remiss, to drop an episode, and as a matter of fact, this entire episode, truth be told, is really inspired by that whole situation because, like I said, man, I don't have a timeline for my drops at this point. I'm kind of just, like I said on the last episode, man, I'm kind of just dropping when I'm inspired at this point, and certainly this was probably one of the most, unfortunate but yet inspiring situations that I've ever witnessed in my adulthood. It's a day that I can remember everything that I did that day. It's actually crazy. I don't even think I ever really told this story, and I don't want to harp on this too long, because like I said, I literally have 2 pages of, things that I want to talk about. But, we're going to start with MAMBA, right? Because it's 3 years to the day. And we're still feeling the effects of the loss. I want to definitely say prayers and condolences for, always to his, obviously Vanessa Bryant and, his daughters and just his entire family and, everybody who basically loved and knew him, because I can only imagine what they're dealing with, right? I thought about that a lot when I was going through my little, I felt like, I'm talking about heartbreak. I've never been heartbroken in my life, and I've been disappointed. I've been hurt. I've been like, damn, anxious, nervous. I've pretty much experienced all of those feelings, but heartbreak, man, I was legitimately heartbroken. It's crazy. I woke up that morning too, just with like a funny, you just wake up feeling I actually woke up really, really early on that Sunday. I remember the day. like I said, I just remember it being just like a funny feeling in my, I woke up that morning, I have like my little, morning Sunday routine that I like to do. I basically just woke up really, really early that morning and I couldn't go back to sleep. I'll never forget this day, right? Couldn't go back to sleep. All right, cool. I probably made something to eat real quick. I probably smoked something real quick. I'm pretty sure I smoked something, right? I still couldn't go back to sleep, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Mind you, at this point while I'm doing all this, more than likely he was probably headed or on his way from church. Because if I'm not mistaken, they definitely reported, I believe that was reported at the time that, he had left church earlier that morning or he had attended a church ceremony. Like I said, again, obviously this was on a Sunday, right? So he probably went to church, he about to go to a game. Let's go to the, let's get right with God, right? I'm harping on this, right? I just remember waking up and I basically started blasting music. I was just blasting music so loud, bro. I was just basically, and that anybody that, when you blasting music, you kind of like, you're not even really on earth during those hours, right? And it was hours. I was sitting there, like I was really just in my pocket musically, not really even thinking about anything. I'm tuned out. I randomly picked my phone up, fam. At whatever time this happened, I don't remember. I feel like it was around 8 something, 9 something, or whatever the case may be. It was early in the morning. I can just remember scrolling down my IG feed and literally just seeing, actually, shout out to D1, D1 the rapper from, Louisiana, super, super talented artist, really, really dope. Been following him since 2011. And I do feel like he is underrated, super underrated, actually. Really, really dope artist, shout out to him. But, the fact that I know he's kind of like more so underground, right? And the fact that he posted a picture, it was him and Kobe Bryant standing next to each other. And I could just remember, mind you, I'm blasting music loud as, like, I can't even really hear myself think, right? But I could just remember staring at the picture for a minute before I even really, I just was staring at the picture thinking to myself, why is D1 with Kobe? Yeah. So much for the continuity, right? The instrumental pack, it's like 400 instrumentals on here. So every now and then I'm going to have to hit the pause real quick to get the instrumental right. It is what it is, right? Pardon the non-continuity, okay? I'm working on production. Listen, I edit, I produce, I write. At this point, I'm literally the Eddie Murphy of this podcasting. Like, put some respect on my hat. I have so many hats on right now, right? Not to mention, this is not even what I'm getting paid from, right? I got other things I got to do to get the bread, so I could even have the energy, because I got to get food to eat with water to drink, so I could even have the energy to pod, right? So I'm doing all of this, right? Back to Kobe, right? I just remember seeing the picture with him and D1, right? I'm harping on this way too long, right? I'm already 14 minutes in, and we didn't even touch any of the topics yet, but this is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. I don't need a docket. I just closed my damn docket. My notebook is closed, fam. I put the strap over it and everything. I don't need it. I can sit here and do this off of the dome, no dockets. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to open it back up, though, because I got some heat on here. I must say. And like I said, like, this podcast stuff, it's dope, man. It's just really helping me, pardon me. It's helping me. It helps to sharpen the tools, man. It got me writing again. It really has me, like, kind of, I like the pocket I'm in, and pocket rhymes with docket. Listen, the wordplay is unlimited, right? So let me get back to the episode, right? I was harping on Kobe and D1, right? So I just remember thinking to myself, I've never seen, like, when was this? When was D1 with Kobe Bryant, right? That was just throwing me off, right? And it wasn't until I started to look at the actual caption. You see the long caption, and it's kind of like, whoa, all right, hold on, wait. it's just messed up how the internet basically has us, so conditioned for these tragedies, man. I knew right away when I seen that damn caption. Then I feel like I seen, you see like a heartbreak emoji in the middle of a paragraph, and it's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then, listen, man, world stopped, obviously, you know what the aftermath of that situation is. And I just really wanted to just say, man, the world is cold. It's cold, man. It is. It is. I still can't make sense of that situation. And I don't think I ever will be able to do that. But such is life, And, E.B.C.G, everybody can't go. And, at the end of the day, sometimes you're not going to always be able to understand either, right? And this was definitely one of those situations for me personally. And, it's just been something that drove me. That the intro, I want to also point out, pardon me for just rambling along, but the intro on the episode is an excerpt from, a complex interview that was conducted by Jinx, and I believe it was in 2017, and it was a sit down with Kobe Bryant and Kendrick Lamar, and I might have watched that interview 1,000 times at this point. It's just a super, super dope conversation. I feel like Jinx definitely, man, what a slot. That has to be his proudest moment as a journalist. I just don't see how anything is topping that. You sat down with Kendrick Lamar and Kobe, and it was a great interview, and the questions were great. He asked some great questions, man. But yeah, I just want to shout that interview out because it's something that I watch and I run to when I just need that little boost of inspiration. And I definitely it definitely got me hyped to do this episode, man. So, just one more time, man. Rest in power forever. Mamba forever. Gigi forever. Man, don't get me started on Gigi, man. She was going to be in the WNBA killing. And it's just so unfortunate, as well as, the Altobellis, the other teammates who are on board, just everybody on board, man. It's a super, super unfortunate situation, man. So we gonna move along. What's going on, man? We in January, and obviously, coming off of, personally, in my opinion, one of the better years for hip hop in terms of releases and artists putting out music. Listen, we got pretty much all of the major releases that we kind of wanted last year. We got Kendrick. We even got a little Drake poppy sounding out. All of the big dogs popped out is what I'm saying, and I was certainly pleased with the music that we received last year. But noteworthy in that conversation is the fact that we didn't hear or see much from J. Cole, right? And that just brings me to my first topic. J. Cole just recently, surfaced with a new track, a new record that it's titled Procrastination, and the whole thing with this is, and the reason why this is so dope, and I had to write it down on the docket. Besides the fact, obviously it's J. Cole, and J. Cole is, one of the GOATs, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, one of the artists who I have in heavy rotation on I'm pretty sure that if I was to look at my stats, like the statistics of my Apple Music, J. Cole's probably in the top 3 of artists played, right? He went and found some random producer on YouTube with a YouTube channel and, essentially blessed him with a verse. You know what I'm saying? He basically took the instrumental off of his page and, he said that he was so uninspired and something about this instrumental and the production, it was something that inspired him enough to write a whole song to it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, the fact that we didn't hear from J. Cole all of last year, for this to be the first time we're hearing from him, for him to be the first artist, which to my point, right? Because on, what was that, episode 16? Was that episode 16? Because I feel like I'm psychic at this point, which is another topic, right? I might have to knock out 2 topics in one, right? So I'm on J. Cole right now, but I low-key definitely said this on episode 16. I feel like J. Cole has made it a point to be the artist to, basically lead the pack, right? I'm gonna pop out first, you know what I'm saying? I wanna be the first artist to drop. I wanna be the first voice that y'all hip hop fans hear to start the year. I wanna make it clear, like what's really going on here. And I wanna make the distinction between me and the rest of y'all. And at the end of the day, if I drop first and the fans hit my first and they know what I'm gonna do is fire, it's gonna be kind of difficult for some of y'all other cats to drop after this. You know what I'm saying? Now we ain't gonna name no names and turn it into a whole versus thing, but Drake, you know what I'm saying? Like this is why he put out a pop album. Cause when the other big dogs drop, for some reason, I feel like Drake tries to try to go in a whole nother direct. Like, dog, compete, fam. You talking about you the best rapper and the numbers and this, that, and the third. Alright, cool. When a big rapper drops, I want to see you rap with the rappers, fam. I don't want to hear you singing. I don't want to hear the pop. I'm off on a tangent here. So he basically, listen, my point is this, man. That Kendrick Cole album is on the way. And that's what I really wanted to get to. Because that's another thing that I had predicted. And as a matter of fact, that's also another topic on my docket. As soon as J. Cole came out and dropped the Procrastination track, 3 new Kendrick Lamar songs surfaced on Spotify. Now ask yourself this. You hear procrastination, and what does procrastination mean? What exactly is J. Cole? What is the messaging? What is the message point that he is trying to send on this track? And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. From the moment I seen the title of the track, and I'm just keeping it all the way 1,000, right? And right now I'm tackling 3 topics in one, because we on the fact that I might have psychic abilities. We on the fact that J. Cole just dropped, and we on the fact that Kendrick Lamar dropped shortly after J. Cole just randomly dropped, right? So Kendrick Lamar, understand what's happening right now. We got a J. Cole random drop that he just chose a random beat from a random producer, right? That's how bored he is. Like, I'm just going to randomly, I'm just that good, fam. I can randomly do this. A spooky surprise Kendrick out of nowhere 3-piece hit the Spotify, and then it gets taken down, you know what I'm saying, real quick. So we didn't even get to hear the tracks, but okay, cool. That's still a sign that music is still there to be released, fam. And at the end of the day, when I go back to the procrastination track, I have to ask myself this. What can you possibly be procrastinating about, fam? Dog. All I'm saying is this. If we're talking procrastination, we're talking about the Kendrick Lamar J. Cole album that we have all been asking for damn near 20 years, fam. Fam. Understand what I'm saying, dog. It's been damn near 20. We are in 2023. Kendrick dropped Good Kid, Mad City in 2012, fam. My point is this, right? We've been asking for the album since he dropped his first debut album, fam. We've been waiting. We've been putting freestyles together. I know I have. Different Kendrick freestyles, trying to blend it with different Cole freestyles, and they definitely got some joints that they did together, some older joints or whatever the case may be. But then most of that stuff is outdated, fam. We want the new and improved Mount Rushmore goated Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole to get in that damn studio and put together some ideas, fam. Because at the end of the day, fam, I don't understand personally, and you can clearly hear the stand in me at this point, right? Because listen, like I said, man, it only makes logical sense. Like, realistically, musically, I feel like their chemistry, they can only put out a classic. It's basically what I'm saying. They can only put out a classic. If those 2 brothers sit down and bounce around with some ideas. When Cole was doing the Dreamville sessions, Kendrick definitely pulled up, and he definitely is on the what's the name of that? Under the Sun. Yeah, I woke up for some Well, we trying to wake up and see that Kendrick Cole album hit the goddamn internet. The procrastination that he's referring to, in my opinion, is that album. And like I said, it's only a good sign that we seen some Kendrick songs hit shortly after that. Was like, just listen. I said it, and you heard me say this is episode 18. Everybody can go. It's documented. I said it, and when it comes to fruition, then basically my theory about me having psychic abilities will be proven. Because like I said, man, there's some other stuff too. I'm struggling with if I wouldn't even get into some of those stuff. Like it's been a lot of little. Let's talk about me having psychic abilities for a second, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, what do you do? Or let me just see if maybe I'm the only one experiencing this, right? Is there anybody out there that I'm not sure if there's like what are we in a retrograde or something? What do they call that? A retrograde? I'm not sure if it's retrograde or Gatorade, fam. I'm not sure what's going on. All I know is this. This instrumental is perfect for this topic, by the way. I might have psychic abilities, fam. Now, let me explain what I'm saying here. I know this sounds crazy, right? There's been too many instances of me just kind of randomly throwing things out and like literally the next day or the next hour or let me give y'all a perfect example, right? I watch interviews a lot, right? I'm gonna change this instrumental, right? That's why I just slipped up and said instrumental because I wanted to change the instrumental. That was trash. I'm not sure what that was, to be honest. I think that's what is it, Street Fighter? They got Street Fighter instrumentals on here, fam. This is a 90s instrumental playlist. Okay, it's not specific to rap. It's just 90s. I get it, right? But don't play the Street Fighter instrumental while I'm trying to talk about my psychic abilities, right? Let's get some Mobb Deep in the background. Okay. It's a little better for the backdrop. As I roll up my joint to make my point, yeah. Am I off of J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar? All I'm saying is this, man. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's all I'm saying. Stay tuned. Remember I said what I said, and I'm gonna be very, very. I'm gonna cry. Is what I'm saying. If we get the Kendrick Cole album this year, fam, it's just like, bruh, that's literally all that's left for my Apple playlist. You give me that and some Lil Sims. Summer 23, man. We out of here. Am I off music now? Am I off music? Let me see here, man. J. Cole, Kendrick, release on Spotify. Ghostface Killer wants you to buy a stem player. No. Respectfully. That's what I wrote down, fam. Now, understand, like I said, at this point, I don't know where I come up with half of my topics. I'm just kind of like, it's kind of like, I don't know who's ghostwriting for me sometimes, fam. But I definitely came across, a clip of something. I was, I'll be on YouTube just watching all type of shit right at this point. Ghostface Killer is definitely getting, I think it was on the Rumor Report, matter of fact. I'm saying the Breakfast Club, and I'm not going to hold you, now that I'm on that. Charlamagne and DJ Envy need to pack it up, man. Y'all got to pack it. The Breakfast Club is a wrap, fam. I'm not going to hold you. Never in a million years would I have thought that Angela Yee, apparently she was the backbone of the whole thing. It don't even look the same no more, fam. They don't even got lights in there. They got them in some goddamn storage room. They over there doing the Rumor Report wrong. They don't got the right intro. Envy look mad every day. Charlamagne over there just looking uncomfortable. It's just like, fam, what are we doing with that? Pack that whole shit. Then they went and got Jason Lee over there, which I'm off that, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Breakfast Club, man. Anyway, moving along, right? Ghostface Killer, I think it was on the Rumor Report, though. Is why I brought it up, man. You know what I'm saying? As far as Ghostface Killer, in the Wu-Tang Clan, listen, at the end of the day, I'm from New York. I get it. I respect, I get the whole Wu-Tang effect and what they've done for hip-hop, and at the end of the day, this is definitely hip-hop 50. So I might need to slow down, actually. Because, at the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to get to is this, man. If Ghostface Killer wants to put out some music independently, man, as a black artist, as a black man, as a legend in hip-hop fame, I shouldn't necessarily have any gripe with that, right? All I'm saying is no. That's all. I'm not buying a stem player to hear the unreleased Martin Skruskelly. What was that? What was her name? That had the Wu-Tang had the golden Wu-Tang CD or some, whatever the case may be. Listen, I'm not buying a stem player. I didn't even get the stem player to get to hear Donda 2. If you think I'm about to get the stem player to hear Ghostface in 2023, when I can literally just go and, fam, you was just on Kendrick album, fam. Slow down, man. We only need to hear you this year. You just was on the biggest album of the year last year. You might get a Grammy this year. That's probably the perfect time to put out an album, though, on a stem player, now that I think about it. Shout out to Ghostface, man. I might have to get a stem player, dog. And it's Hip Hop 50 this year. That's crazy. I might see. Sometimes I got to check myself, man. That wasn't a good topic to write down. It wasn't. Let me change the no to yes now. Hold on. I'm doing this live on air, by the way. Yes, I will get this stem player. And you know what, Ghostface? I'm going to hear the album. I am. Realistically, though, I was going to hear the album anyway without the stem player. But if I come across a stem player, what I'm saying is I might just pick one up now, you know? Shout out to Ghostface, man. Let me try to keep it on. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Is there anything I got music related? Oh, man, that's crazy. Well, so this is, you know, and shout out, by the way, let me just say, before I even get to this, man, I mean, this might have been, I couldn't wait to get to this because, like I said, man, this is going back to my whole thing about being psychic, man, which is kind of weird, right? You probably thinking to yourself, like, what are you talking about? Flow Rider versus Celsius Energy, man. So this is the thing, right? You know, this is the thing. I definitely, you know, randomly. I mean, I literally randomly thought about Flow Rider about 2 weeks ago or so, right? I feel like the day before I see this, I said to myself, what happened to Flow Rider? I feel like I heard one of his songs. I feel like one of his songs was playing on like a Toyota commercial or something. And I had a brief thought to myself, like, what happened to the artist Flow Rider? Like, is he would have to be currently battling the labels. See, I thought it was the labels that had him kind of on hiatus. But I definitely felt like, damn, with the catalog that he has, you know, I haven't really seen or heard much from him, right? So I was just kind of like thinking to myself, I wonder if he's going through some type of legal situation. Only for me to wake up the next morning, fam, to see this. Now, I never drank Celsius energy drink. I basically never really drank energy drinks in general. That's kind of not my vibe. I've definitely had a Monster or two. I've had a Red Bull or two in my past. You know, I can't say it's something that I like. I low key don't respect the whole energy drink thing. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's other ways for you to be energized. Personally, I feel like energy drinks are kind of like a cop out. I feel like you're a loser if you drink energy drink. Like, if you need an energy drink to go to the gym and curl a 45-pound dumbbell, fam, like, just pack it up, fam. You're a loser. The energy that all of the energy in you need to tap into the real energy, which is the earth, right? God put all of this great resourceful stuff on the earth for us to, you know what I'm saying, vitamins and natural minerals. And we sitting here being blasphemous and trying to go get a drink that'll give us an extra pump, right? So I'm just kind of like, I'm not really feeling the whole energy drink business as it is anyway, right? And I might have a gripe that I want to pick with them. I'm trying to set up a potential lawsuit. If y'all couldn't tell, man, I'm low-key sitting here like, damn, this has to be one of the most monumental moments. I was going to say in hip-hop, but Flo Rida's not a hip-hop artist, right? What genre is that, fam? Listen, my point is this. What a huge win, and congratulations to Flo Rida, who probably will never have to tour again, fam. Like, understand this. When you have a catalog of music like Flo Rida does, that you can basically now just fall back on, like, his catalog is now his fallback plan, fam. Which is crazy, right? That man just won $82 million from Celsius Energy. You know, obviously, you know, if you followed the case, which I vaguely did, right? I probably watched like I only watched the one video where I seen him standing there in the thumbnail with his hand up getting ready to testify. Everybody gonna click on that one, right? So that's about as much following as I've done with the whole situation, you know. But I definitely know that he won that 82 M's though. You feel me? And I definitely do want to say that I think it's dope that he went and took the stand, in a different kind of way. Because obviously taking a stand in court is a very, very, obviously it's a lot of that going on. We're going to get to that too, by the way, which, I mean, yeah. It's a lot going on in the courts these days, man. And it was just dope to see a black man standing in a courtroom with a suit on the winning side of things, man. And he went there. He had his facts. He had his lawyers, who I'm sure would, I'm not sure if that's the wrong thing to say. But listen, at the end of the day, with the results that we got, Flow Rider ethered Celsius Energy, fam. And at the end of the day, he might. I'm not sure what's about to happen with them. Like, I'm not sure if he owns them now. I'm not sure if they about to. They might have to change the whole. It might be a whole rebrand coming for Celsius Energy drinks. That might be a whole nother thing now. You feel me? He might change the name of that joint. Listen, with 82 M's, bruh, you kind of can do what you want, right? But shout out and salute to Flow Rider. I think that was dope. And I'm gonna segue off of that, since we're talking about court appearances. We just gonna get right to this, this unfortunate, debacle that just continues to keep getting worse and worse. And if you didn't know what I was talking about, you probably did. I'm talking about Young Thug. Yeah. It's the trial being seen and heard around the world. And I mean, quite frankly, I be trying to avoid this at this point. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. It's kind of hard to avoid it. It's all over the timeline. Like, fam. So what's the latest? What's the latest that's been going on with that situation? A Percocet was handed. There was a handoff. There was an exchange. There was an alleged, at this point, is it really alleged now? I mean, they kind of grabbed the dude and body slammed him and took the perks out of his hand or some crazy. Listen, all I'm saying is this. I'm only reporting what has been documented. And what has been documented is that Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, is that his his legal name? I feel like we should just be calling him by his legal name at this point. Because, fam, that Young Thug dude is packed up. Let's be all the way clear, fam. Understand that there have been instances in court where the judge has been perturbed and more angry for way less, and has thrown the whole book at people. And, like, bro, I don't know what type of time or what type of sentence that this is about to carry out for Young Thug, but all I can say is this: I wish jail on nobody. Right? It looks bad though, right? You sitting in the courtroom fighting for your life. I can't imagine. Obviously, yeah, sure. We can all relate to the idea of wanting to escape a situation, right? Personally, the perk thing was never really my, that's kind of not my, it's not my lane. I stay in my lane, right? I'm a heavy THC, supporter, user, and some may say abuser. But at the end of the day, listen, right? To each his own. Whatever works for you is whatever's going to work for you. And at the end of the day, this motherfucker is waking up drinking coffee every day and don't even realize what caffeine does, right? And the sugars that you putting in the coffee, right? So, like I said, to each his own. And we're not here to judge Young Thug and his particular vice that he has. What I'm saying is this, fam. Not in the courtroom. You can't do not there. That's the only place where your vice should never be an option, fam. I don't care how much I'm sweating. I don't care how much I'm itching in that bro. At least wait till I get in the hallway, fam. Go put it in the bathroom under the sink. Anything else would have been better than somebody literally walking. He power walked. He power walked right up to him. Put the thing in his hand. He cuffed it. I mean, it couldn't have been more obvious. It was done in plain sight. And quite frankly, like I said, man, I really don't know what the future is for, this generation, man. And like I said, if there's more Young Thugs out here, which I'm sure there are, because at the end of the day, he had a lot of fans, and his music was definitely influencing a lot of people, man. we are getting ready to see some really, really interesting court cases in the future, man. Because quite frankly, this shit ain't gonna end anytime soon. And when you see stuff like this, fam, that is just more of a reminder that we are definitely living in some completely different times, bro. I don't know what is going on, fam. Everybody can't go though. I don't want to, obviously, when you say Young Thug, it's kind of hard to not mention Gunna at this point. Obviously, from the latest I've heard with him is basically he definitely, a lot of artists, a lot of big artists, unfollowed him on social media, which is kind of like the new way of. That's basically like this generation's version of like the East versus the West. You know what I'm saying? The whole Pac Big, that whole, when people was really like beefing and like killing people. Today, the unfollow on Instagram is somewhat the equivalent of this, and when certain artists unfollow you on Instagram, it's supposed to be like somehow a big career / financial hit. You could basically take a lot of losses when certain artists unfollow you. A lot of brands will unfollow you. If an artist is heavily involved with certain brands, and it's a whole circus, when it comes to that, right? And at the end of the day, man, I don't necessarily subscribe to any street codes myself personally. Speaking about me, Willmatic TV, I don't subscribe to any codes. I subscribe to what I need to do for myself, right? And at the end of the day, I'm not around you people. I'm not around. I'm not interested, right? So there's a very, very small chance that you will ever see me in anything like this, right? So I don't want to basically speak out of term, right? At the end of the day, I'm not involved. I'm not involved, fam. So I can't necessarily relate. What I can say is from this angle that I sit, right? From this vantage point, right? It just looks crazy, man. And at the end of the day, Gunna, if he's now being blackballed by the industry because he went to court and he told the people what he needed to tell them to come home to his family. Like at the end of the day, if that's what it takes for us to kind of basically blackball each other, then I don't know. I can't subscribe to any of this, man. It's all a bunch of craziness. Young Thug, more power to him. Gunna, more power to you as well. I think he just put out some song though. He definitely snuck out like a little single or something though, with like an underground artist. I definitely seen him like recently in like a new. He definitely put out music since he came home. So, I'm not really sure how that's gonna transpire, man. What I will say is this: it wouldn't be me though. It wouldn't be me though. T.J. Holmes, man. Let me just start going through them. Yo, what's going on with T.J. Holmes, man? So I have it written down. T.J. Holmes going home. I see what I did there. What I'm not so certain about with this whole situation is basically what the big deal is. Like what exactly is going on here? What did T.J. Holmes do? T.J. Holmes, for y'all who don't know, one of the journalists on basically what is it? The Today Show? Is it the Today Show? Is it Good Morning America? One of those morning shows, you know what I'm saying, with all of the journalists that, sit there and basically read off the teleprompter, prompt our emotions and smile at us and should make us feel real good about our day. He was basically one of the best at it. And I mean, I'm not sure what happened, but apparently he's being, sent home from his duties and responsibilities. Listen, at the end of the day, he was slapping cheeks. That was basically what happened. He was slapping cheeks. T.J. Holmes, yes, he's human, fam. Just because they wear suits and sit there and they could talk real good, and fam, the man is a man at the end of the day. And if he's sitting up in the skyscraper, you got the different tuxedos on. All I'm saying is this: I've seen worse doing way less. And I'm just gonna leave it at that, fam. Like, where are these cancel culture people on the lower levels of these like jobs and like? Cause fam, I don't want to expose anybody necessarily, and I'm definitely not gonna call out no names. I won't tag any of you. But man, I've seen some real interesting stuff at some of these workplace environments. Like, a man can have sex with a female as long as it's consensual. In my opinion, I don't necessarily feel like it should be a big deal, and a man shouldn't lose his job because he had consensual sex with a female. Now, if you bring her to the office and you clapping cheeks in the office on the table, now that's a whole nother thing, right? Now, I do understand. Listen, we all got fantasies and shit, fam, and I can't be mad at a man for having his own office and wanting to clap some cheeks in there, especially if you got a View and you're on the View, right? Or the Today Show, whatever the case may be. Listen, much more power to TJ Holmes. I believe there's a lawsuit now, in place. If I'm not mistaken, him and the young lady, who shall remain nameless, simply because I didn't read enough of this to even know or catch the name of who this was. But I believe it was somebody who also was on this show. I feel like I know who it was, low key too. Like, I don't want to. Do I need to go search this up real quick? I feel like I know exactly who it was. He was definitely smashing that. David Crosby, R.I.P. This was interesting just for the simple fact that I wasn't familiar with who David Crosby was all the way, right? So obviously the name David Crosby rings a bell, right? At least for me, I'm pretty sure I've heard David Crosby a few times in my lifetime. So I said, you know what, man, damn, David Crosby passed away. I feel like I know who this is. Let me go ahead and look up and see who David Crosby was. For some reason, my mind went to PBS 13, right? I'm like, was this the painter on PBS 13? Bro, David Crosby, man, and like once again, rest in peace, rest in love, much respect to that man, right? But God, I went and typed in David Crosby on YouTube, guys, and I came across a song titled "Long Time Gone," and I'm not gonna hold you, man. The first thing that came to my mind was this is appropriation, right? Like, this is the man is sitting here. I didn't know who he was, is what I'm saying. I didn't know the whole look, the whole thing. So I'm basically coming into the situation like, what I'm saying, as a newcomer, right? This is my first time. This is my introduction to who David Crosby is and the whole thing. Long time gone. Bro, this sound like a Stevie Wonder ghost written. This sound like Ray Charles ghost written. Bro, I'm not sure if did he break into the studio and take all of Al Green's? I'm not sure where he got these lyrics from, fam, but there is no way that David Crosby, respect to David Crosby, man. Like I said, I just wasn't aware of what he did. I didn't know he was doing that, fam. And I'm not gonna hold you. I found it very difficult to get through this. I listened to the song and I had a lot of issues with it. I just feel like, personally, we had Elvis, Eminem, and we accepted Eminem. You feel me? That was kind of like, all right, no more. That was the limit for me personally, right? David Crosby, man, and I'm not really sure how I felt about David Crosby's music, man. That's basically what I wanted to say about David Crosby. R.I.P. though, and much love and respect to you, sir. He definitely was like a legend. Like, he definitely started a whole band. It was like a legendary band. I don't have the name off the top of my head. You know what, man? Let me go ahead and just see. Now that I done trashed his music, basically, now I feel bad. I'm just saying, like, all right, let me set it up. Like, you in the Uber, right? I'm just trying to figure out where you was trying to take me with this one, dog. They sitting on the couch. It's him and two other men that look exactly like him. Fam. Get me out of here. Yo, what's going on with this economic uncertainty, man? I've been hearing some things. I've been hearing a lot of things, I'm not necessarily, the techie, individual myself. I don't necessarily, deal with too many, I feel like the iPhone is just about as much as I need on the tech side of things, a little laptop, little Xbox or something. But I'm not necessarily what you would consider like a techie individual or somebody who's just like, well, I mean, then again, let me think about that. I'm kind of tech savvy on the low. I am. I'm pretty tech savvy. What I'm saying is that was more of a necessity than a passion for me, right? I had to just know how to do certain things to get this I wanted. You feel me? And at the end of the day, what Mamba mentality has taught us is that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what obstacle you place in my way, fam. I will rewire some right, and get my So yeah, but I'm not. With that being said, though, I'm not necessarily the most tech. I'm not like a nerd, right? I am kind of a nerd, though, right? Damn, maybe I am a nerd, right? Let me really think about this, right? So my point is this, and this made the docket just for the simple fact that I feel like, in all seriousness, though, especially coming off of the whole. Hold on, let me spark one. I'm lost for words. I am. It happens to the best of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm back though. The fact that podcasts have become such a popularized thing, and obviously this is very, very much you know in the tech space, right? We're dealing with basically audio, visual, microphones. It's all different type of things that are all elements of tech in the tech space, right? And I'm definitely hearing a lot of reports about basically all of these companies, Microsoft, Google. We're talking about thousands of layoffs basically, in the coming months, if not for the entire year, right? And I'm not really sure what this means for I know exactly what it means, right? And I'm being around the bush, right? I don't want to make any, obviously a lot of analysts are making, certain predictions about the economy. And what they're basically saying is brace for impact, fam. I don't know how else to say it. Brace for impact. Whatever struggle you was going through last year, chances are this year it's going to be times 2 or 3, right? It's basically what I'm reading. And, if this whole layoff situation is any indication of that, we certainly look like we're headed to, for some turbulent times. But at the end of the day, fam, I don't want to, say that to upset you. What I want to say that to do is prepare you, right? And at the end of the day, we're not always so preventative with our, we're more of a reactionary people, right? And I don't want to get too deep here, but we're reactionary people. We're not preventative people, man. At the end of the day, man, read up on what's going on and I say move accordingly, right? So even for like me myself, I was heavy. I was real heavy. I might have gave Uber Eats $1 million on the low within the past 3 years, fam. Like I've been really, really. It's just certain things that myself personally, I'm gonna cut back on. We're at a point now where there's no real excuse, to just not be educated and aware of, basically just your surroundings of what's going on around the world, and these layoffs, man, definitely seem like a sign of things to come for the economy. We already seen a shutdown. We already seen what the shutdown looked like, and we're clearly still feeling the effects of that, right? So I say that to say this, man. Just everybody, prepare yourselves, read up on, what's going on. Don't be naive. You know what I'm saying? Don't live your life as social media and just basically completely spend all of your, what I'm saying, your resources. Don't burn out resources. Don't just basically, just be smart this year. Is basically what I'm saying, right? Embrace for impact. They talking about severance packages. Like, fam, you gonna give me a severance package? How long is this package supposed to last me and my entire family? Right? In some of those cases, I'm sure, this is not only just going to affect individuals, it's going to affect the families as well. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what, though? You know what I will say, though, about this whole economic crisis? Where's my doctor? To add on to that real quick, I do feel like it is a good thing as well, right? Because I feel like we got too many people out here, basically, that, have basically just been kind of living off of, schemes and systems and just operating basically with no skill set and no knowledge of basically, anything that's really going on in the real world, fam. So realistically, what's going to happen this year, realistically, is we're going to see a lot of people get exposed, right? And there's a lot of people out here basically just living behind a lot of false and realistic, fam. If you're not really reading up on what's going on, if you ain't listening to the Everybody Can Go podcast, episode 18, you ain't gonna know what's going on. And more than likely, you gonna fall to the wayside while the people who are in tune, right, are basically gonna be stepping over you like AI stepped over Tyrone Lue in the finals, fam. Y'all don't know what the is going on. Like, fam, you in the way at this point, fam. This ain't the year for people to be in the way, fam. And I say all that to say this: I'm in snowplow mode, fam. You get in my way if you want to. You probably not though. Everybody Can Go. This episode 18, man. We gonna move along. Hold on, I just got an ESPN alert. Let me just, every time I get one of these, I gotta make sure. All right, everything good? Nobody? Kyrie good? KD? Is KD back? I didn't even have Kyrie or basketball on my docket, but you know, shout out to the Nets. I mean, not even the Nets, man. I'm low key still salty over the whole handling of the Kyrie situation last year. I'm not gonna hold you. That still hasn't fully left me. I do like what the coach is doing though, and I do like that coach over there. I believe his name is Jacques Vaughn. You know, shout out to Jacques Vaughn, man. He completely turned them around 360. He got them moving and grooving and doing what they need to do. KD definitely got hurt though, because KD is so frail. Like, why are you always hurt, fam? Can we just get a consistent run of KD and Kyrie games, fam? I just feel like right when they get into that pocket, something weird always happens, and it's just like, fam, like. But Kyrie definitely been balling out though, and that was the reason why I brought this up, because I definitely seen that stat line the other night. 12 rebounds. That's what we doing now, fam. This is crazy, you know. And the fact that he still doesn't have a sneaker deal. I'm not sure what's taking so long, but I'm expecting to see some new Kyries this spring. You know what I'm saying? They probably waiting for it to get a little warmer. You know what I'm saying? They are playing in New York at the end of the day, right? I ain't even had that. I had to just add that real quick. You know what I'm saying? So let me. I guess we keep it on sports, right? So let's hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I want to segue into this one right here, because I'm not gonna hold you, man. This one really was like, you know, it was like, whoa. It actually was like, whoa, when I seen the headline, because Francis Ngannou, you know, UFC heavyweight, you know, dominant champion in the UFC heavyweight division, you know, for the past several years. And, you know, I'm not sure how long he had the title. I know he was definitely the heavyweight champion. It might have been a few years or whatever the case may be. But my point is this, man. He was definitely cleaning up the heavyweight division in the UFC, fan. And, you know, was basically, you know, getting all of the praise and all of the accolades, it seemed like. You know, see, this is the thing, right? Every now and then there's going to be certain situations that are, you know, basically expose other situations, right? And this is one of those things that I didn't even really necessarily realize how much tension that, you know, Francis Ngannou had with UFC and Dana White. You know, there were so many things that was going on behind the scenes, and at the end of the day, I'm jumping ahead of, you know, myself here. Basically, what I'm referring to here is Francis Ngannou has been released or fired, or we don't even know. All we know is this: he ain't with the UFC no more, you know. And we hearing so many different reports and different sides of the story. You know, Dana White came out and had the whole press conference where he basically trashed Francis Ngannou, right? Which is, you know, we'll get to Ariel Helwani and his, you know, his whole take on the situation in a little bit, you know, because he ethered Dana White on his little set. You know what I mean? He got a little show over there on ESPN or whatever the case may be. Every now and then I see it randomly. I'll click on it and I'll watch it. And I'm not going to lie, Ariel Helwani is definitely, you know, super knowledgeable when it comes to the whole fight game and, you know, amongst other things in sports. Like, he definitely does his job well, you know, and I respect what he does. So I'm not saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that, like, I don't support his platform. What I'm saying is this, man. He had a lot of smoke for Dana White. And at the end of the day, I think it's obvious that Dana White and Ariel Helwani, it's clearly no checks being cut. You feel me? Because he had a lot of different things to say. You know, he definitely had Francis come on on his show, and they definitely spoke about certain things. He basically came on there to clear the air, and you know what I'm saying, he basically gave his side of the story because, like I said, Dana White, when he came out and did that presser, you know, which by the way, John Jones, in addition to Francis Ngannou's being released, or him just quitting, right? Because at the end of the day, he's saying one thing and Dana White is saying another thing. Dana White is saying they let him go, like they terminated the contract type shit, which to me sounds crazy, right? Like, whoa, why would you trying to tell me that you have a heavyweight as dominant as Francis Ngannou, right? And you just release him out of a contract? It didn't really make sense to me. But from Francis's point of view, what he was saying is like, yo, fam, check this out. My obligations were fulfilled. I did everything I needed to do. I fought as the heavyweight champion and I left as the heavyweight champion. All for my contract. I honored my contract is basically what he's saying, right? And there was definitely a re-signing that was supposed to take place. They were trying to work out so many different deals. Again, this is all me learning. I learned all of this after the fact, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and act like I knew everything about Francis Ngannou's contract. I had no clue, is what I'm saying, right? All I knew was that he was the heavyweight in the UFC and he was knocking cats out, right? So, this is what I'm basically looking forward to, and then you see this kind of thing, you got to kind of do your research, right? So basically, I got the whole thing. Like, fam, he was basically trying to negotiate, certain rights in the contract, certain terms that he wanted to, have in place in his contract, and that was kind of basically, what the back and forth was. He wanted certain things, I'm trying to remember some of the things that he definitely had a request, for the fighters in Africa, basically to have more access to facilities. Like, I'm talking about, he really had some specific terms that, I feel like personally, I mean, you have to just applaud, at the end of the day, and, we got to get a little serious here. At the end of the day, Francis Ngannou is an African black man who's in a UFC, and at the end of the day, obviously, we don't want to speak about Dana White's political, his history there, and basically who he's affiliated with, and basically how that could just be all one big conflict when it comes to how you deal with and handle certain fighters, right? And obviously, you got fighters coming from all parts of the world, and we don't want to make this a race thing necessarily, but at the end of the day, how can you not commend a fighter for wanting to try to, basically put his people on, right? In other words, if y'all want to present me as this African warrior and I'm in the UFC and I'm knocking all these guys out, they're quick to market you to the people that, and to the roots that you're from, right? They'll use that to market a fighter, right? They'll let you come out with the flag, the whole thing, right? Because the country that you're supporting, more than likely, they're going to support the product, right? So now you're bringing over all of those people, right? It's marketing, right? We understand the game. But what I'm saying is this: Francis understood that he had a contract and he had, certain terms that he wanted to put in the contract. Dana White wasn't with it. They went back and forth, and it is what it is. This is where we are now. I say all that to say this, though. John Jones is back, fam. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Dana White is not losing any sleep, fam. It is what it is, right? You get John Jones back for an 8-fight deal, right? And I'm off the dome with it right now. Like, I already read all of this. Like, this was like last week. I read this. I kind of just kept it. I just compartmentalized it and left it where it needed to be for the podcast. I knew I was going to come on here and deliver this because, fam, like I said, man, I've been just waiting for the return of John Jones. It's been like 3 years since we seen John Jones in there. You feel me? So he moved up to heavyweight, and, obviously the whole point of him moving up to heavyweight, was so that he can fight, well, what we thought was Francis Ngannou, right? Who's the heavyweight champion. We was waiting to see that the whole time, right? And, obviously at this point, we're not sure if we're ever going to see that. Personally, I feel like that fight is probably going to be bigger than ever now, right? So if they ever do decide to bring him back, or if he decides to kind of just accept whatever slave contract, quote unquote, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna hold you. Like I said, he went on the Ariel Helwani show and on his broadcast, and he was very, very, liberal with his speech. He definitely wasn't holding back, and he definitely was keeping it, from his perspective all the way 100, right? And he basically was saying, fam, I'm not really here to be a pawn. I'm not here to kiss the ring, fam. I'm here to do my job, take care of my people and basically go home type shit. You know what I'm saying? And, it kind of does make it look like, the other fighters, look, I don't want to say look funny, but at the end of the day, what are y'all really fighting for? The man said he couldn't even get health insurance from Dana White in the UFC, which is crazy to me, right? That was the one right there. See, I just remembered that. I forgot about that one. The health insurance one, like, all right, fam, all right, maybe, I could understand maybe some of the other terms might have been a little bit too personal, maybe, from their perspective and from a business perspective, right? Because at the end of the day, ethics in business, we kind of understand is oil and water, right? However, I feel like for a fighter to not be able to have health insurance in the UFC is slavery. Let's just keep it all the way 1,000. Maybe not every fighter, right? But when you're the heavyweight champion, right? The assumption is, you're the heavyweight champion of the world, man. Who's tougher and bigger and badder than this individual? You're the heavyweight UFC champion of the world. How is the heavyweight champion not in a position to be able to demand something as simple as health insurance, man? Something that millions of Americans, there's people at CVS with health insurance, man. They got health insurance packages at McDonald's, I'm sure, at this point. That's not something that you deny, and I would assume you're a heavyweight champion of your company, right? I'm gonna drink some water real quick. Hold on, pardon me. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I said, man, this right here is a lot to it, and I definitely feel like I'm looking forward to see John Jones get in that ring, regardless of the fact. And at the end of the day, we lost Francis, but we got John Jones back. And respectfully, personally, it's not gonna change the way I will still be watching the UFC, fam. And it's unfortunate that that's how it got to be, and that we don't really have our own version of the UFC. Basically, if he go to try to start that, I'm with it. Like, don't get it. Like, I will boycott this shit if the shit start making sense. Like, if we get it to like we have our own UFC, fam. We've been asking for this stuff for years, fam. I haven't seen anybody. We still didn't even get an NFL team. You feel me? Realistically, it's quiet for that. But yeah, man, John Jones, Cyril Gane, that's definitely, the fight that's been signed, and they're going to fight for the heavyweight championship. I feel like John Jones is going to destroy Cyril Gane. It's not even going to be close. I'm just looking forward to seeing a heavyweight John Jones dismantle. He is going to dismantle Cyril Gane, fam. And I'm not taking anything away from Cyril Gane, obviously, because he would dismantle me. That's a heavyweight jiu-jitsu, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if he got a black belt or a brown belt, but fam, at the end of the day, he's like a hybrid. He kind of got it all in there, right? And I respect his, his fight game. His last fight was, who was that against? Stipe? He went in there, he performed, man, and I'm not taking it anyway from, obviously his ability. What I'm saying is this: that's John Jones, fam. That's John Jones. And listen, at the end of the day, I don't even know how much he weighs, man. We've never seen John Jones this size. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure. He probably then added some wrestling to his repertoire. He already had the wrestling and the grapple game. But I'm just saying, when you're a heavyweight fan, this is the strongest John Jones we've ever seen, is what I'm saying, right? So that's going to be a real interesting fight, man. But much power and, love and respect to Francis Ngannou, who I'm sure he's going to be all right at the end of the day. This is not like the end of the world for him, But I'm not going to hold you, though. When I did watch him on the Ariel Helwani, show, he definitely looked like, you can see it was certain points where he was regretful, on how things ended, for sure. And I'm not certain if the contract, or if there's not a opening for him to return in the future. At the end of the day, Dana White is a businessman. And if that makes sense business wise, like for example, if John Jones goes in there and beats Cyril Gahn's ass, which I know for a fact he's gonna do that, right? So now you got John Jones as your heavyweight champion, right? Francis is salty. You know he gonna be salty. Like, fam, he didn't even beat me, fam, and he got my belt on right now. There's always gonna be room, and fam, if he was trying to coax Khabib to come back after he said he was gonna retire for his mother and all, like, Dana White is a shrewd businessman. Is my point. He gonna figure that out, and I won't be surprised if we actually end up getting that fight. Probably not gonna be this year. It's definitely not gonna be this year. Because he about to go over there and probably try to box and all type of shit. Biden is in a bind. Let's get to it. What's going on with our president, man? Now, listen, this is another one of those things that I've basically been trying to avoid, at all costs. I'm not gonna hold you. Like at this point, every time I see the gray hair and the red skin, I scroll as fast as I can, man. But oftentimes you'll do that and you'll just end up on another. Bro, all I've been seeing is just this what is going on? Like, so basically I don't really have anything in front of me, but I wrote down Biden in a bind because that's basically what I've been hearing. Apparently there's some documents, some paperwork, it's some secret document, fam. We've been talking about secret documents for years, fam. Is this even news, fam? We know it's secret documents already. So they talking about apparently he got them in his house or whatever the case may be. My thing is this, fam. We already know these politicians is corrupt. Ice Cube made a song called "Everything Is Corrupt." Like, I'm not impressed, fam. Do you not have anything else to report on that you gotta keep showing me that this document's being found? Oh, we found some more, and there's more in the closet, more in the basement, fam. We get the point, fam. He's corrupted. The system is corrupt. The jig is up, and it's been up. I'm not impressed, right? I want to move on from Biden, right? And I'm not really sure what's going to happen, like, as far as with our country. Like, are we at risk for, like, some type of terror attack at this point, fam? Like, I'm just saying, if they lock the president up, how does that work, is what I'm saying. Like, who's going to be there to make the calls to make sure that the nuclear, is everything okay in the nuclear department, fam? Because at this point, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, in all seriousness, like, I'm joking, obviously, but I don't think I'm really joking. Like, we are definitely on the brink of some turbulent times, man, to say the least, right? Financially, they already trying to set that up. You know what I'm saying? And then if you want to get real spooky with it, right? And if you want to really get spooky with it and get into the predictive programming aspect of things, like, go back and watch some old movies, man. Enough said. Like, this is bad. This is bad times, man. But at the same time, life is great. You know what I'm saying? And that's the dope thing about my podcast. That's what I'm here to remind you. Yeah. All that stuff that I just said is happening. It really is happening. But at the same time, when I hear this Nas Aaliyah instrumental, it's kind of like I don't care anymore. I don't. I mean, me personally, I just feel like I have a whole nother perspective on life. My chakras are at all-time high. I'm just vibrating differently. I'm walking differently. I'm feeling differently. Like, my bounce is different, man. My pivot is strong. I just feel really, really confident about life, man, regardless of the fact. Like, and at the end of the day, the world can explode tomorrow, fam. Understand this. Me. I'm gonna figure it out, fam. I will crawl out of the earth and restore humanity, fam. That's what I need y'all to understand about me, right? I'm not worried about none of this. I'm not, man. I'm really not. And it's so crazy because there was definitely a point in time where I was too worried about this stuff, and maybe that might be a lot. That might have a lot to, Anyway, let's get off the conspiracies right now. That's not where I want to take y'all on this episode. This is the Mamba episode. Mamba mentality. We just striving to, just overcome every obstacle that is placed before us, and, basically just recognizing your mistakes in the situation is important as well. You don't want to be somebody who's just out here continuing to be on a rat wheel and just continuing to repeat and fail at the same game, That was my tangent about life right there. I want to move forward. We talked about the economy, the uncertainty, the tech layoffs, the severance packages. Shannon Sharp was definitely about to knock out John Moran's father. Now, this is the thing, right? It's not really much to cover here, you know. It's not really much to cover here. Shannon Sharp has been very, very aggressive lately, though. I do want to say that. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with Shannon Sharp. I feel like lately, like, I've just been seeing Shannon Sharp being more and more angry on television, fam. Like, at the end of the day, fam. And we just was talking about the UFC, and, you know. So this is actually a good segue, right? Because Shannon Sharp is a big dude, man. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure what division he would be in. I'm not sure if he'd be a heavyweight or a light heavyweight. He might be a light heavyweight. We might need to get this Shannon Sharp in the UFC is what I'm saying, fam. Shannon Sharp, I just want to see his form at this point. Like, can he actually fight, bro? Because, like, fam, why are you always so angry? Like, I used to see Shannon Sharp and it was always like the opposite. Like, he used to just always be laughing and trying to joke. Now I feel like you at the game trying to fight John Moran's dad. I don't even care what was said at this point. Like, fam, don't do that on national television, especially when you have to be on television every morning, fam, and make people laugh and be goofy. Like, fam, the aesthetic is ruined. I can't see you mad one day and then goofy the next day, fam. I don't understand where we're going right now. And I'm having a hard time just like, is it going to be Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp? Like, which, I don't know who I'm rolling with here, bro. We need new black journalists, is what I'm saying, fam. Because we need to pack Stephen A. Smith up, too. He over there. Anyway, we speak about him enough. I don't want to give him any more shine on this episode. But shout out to, but honestly, though, Stephen A. Smith definitely did the Howard Stern interview. And that shit was, basically the snippets that I heard. Because, they only released the snippets of the Howard Stern interviews, which is crazy to me, right? Because he has some of the best interviews, right? They'll only give you like 5 minutes and then another 3-minute piece, then another piece that's 40 seconds. Like, fam, why are you teasing me, fam? Give me the whole interview, fam. There's jewels in there, right? So that was my little tangent about Shannon Sharp, right? And T. Moran. I'm not sure, obviously, when you're the father of John Moran and you front row every game, you like, come on. I mean, listen, the drinks is going, like, I'm not sure what happened, I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure what was said, but at the end of the day, we need to stop. We need to stop looking dumb on TV, man. At the end of the day, we just had another fight like 2 weeks ago, fam, with Steven Jackson and them at a fight. So now we just look crazy. Like, we doing this shit on boxing events, basketball games. It's like, fam, this is not the year for us to look like we're not, in control of ourselves.
A lady who doesn't work in the financial sector, Mariah. Yeah, but a lady who doesn't play with her money, and it's a lot of money, George, that's missing. They've basically cleaned out the man's account. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be able to function. I want to read just a little bit from just as background, viewers, you would have been aware that there has been fraud, not a fraud. There has been fraud of monumental proportions at one of our investment firms in Jamaica.
I'm not going to hold you.
One of the oldest, if not the oldest. I remember investing in stocks and security, Mariah, when I was in third year in university. That was 2004.
It's probably the that scammed him sitting right there. Listen, man, this scam is everywhere, B. That whole situation is, rectified. You know that there's a lot of scamming going on, man. And these days, you just never know, who's sitting there ready to, scam you out of $1 or whatever else it is, basically, I don't really have anything else to say about that, to be honest. I'm not even sure why I wrote that down, man. I apologize, actually, man. I apologize to the viewers. I like to be more, informative when I have a topic, man. I really had nothing on that other than the fact that Usain Bolt has been robbed and scammed out of millions of dollars, right? Which is terrible, right? I've never been scammed in my life. Let me think about that, though. Have I ever been scammed before? Maybe that'd be a good way to build on this. I've been robbed for sure. I've definitely been robbed. I've definitely been scammed too now. Now I think about it, out of some sneakers. Yeah, he got me. Let me tell y'all the story now. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, this is still kind of like, I'm low key, like, I'm still looking for the dude too on the low. Like, I feel like I still remember how he looked. This happened when I was like 15, 16. Listen, I went to Harlem. Shout out to Harlem. This is probably one of my worst experiences in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of amazing times and amazing memories in Harlem, but this is definitely probably one of the worst memories I have. I pulled up out there. I'm not sure why the laugh just happened while I was in the middle of telling my painful story. Dr. Dre with his production, fam. Where did you find an evil laugh in the middle of... Anyway, not a bow wow wow. Long story short, man, I went to go cop whatever J's it was at the time, and I mean, listen, man, he was so convincing, bro. He basically ran up on me, pulled up on me like, yo, bruh, how much you willing to pay for these right here? Man, he hit me. I don't remember exactly what he said to me. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, I remember the conversation verbatim. I don't. All I know and all I remember is I wanted those J's, fam. And he had the perfect pitch. He was convincing. He even did it to the point where, like, he had one of the females in the store. This is where he really got me, though. This is where he really got me. And this is before I even knew what scamming was for real, you feel me? So he had me like I was basically like a fish out of water in that bitch with like 300. I had all this cash in my damn pocket. I had cash on me, fam. I didn't even have a bank account yet. I went to Harlem with cash on me to get the J's. You feel me? I gave the cash, bro. He showed me the girl behind the counter, right? And she was with the whole scheme. I really could have went back and violated her, but I wasn't going to do that, obviously, right? I digress. She was there, like, basically, like, giving the signal, like, yeah, like, it's good, type shit. So he hit me with, like, a little discount deal type thing and hit me with a whole pitch, man. He got me, the money came right out of my pocket, fam. I gave him the damn money. She went to the back acting like she probably didn't even work there, for real, for all I knew. Like, but she was definitely behind the counter, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, man, he disappeared. I'm sitting there waiting, like, all right, so she about to come out and bless me with the box. Any second now. Man, a second turned into 5 minutes, 5 minutes turned into 30 minutes, fam. I sat there for damn near an hour waiting for those damn sneakers until I realized there was no damn sneakers. I just got scammed out of $250 or whatever it was at the time, you feel me? I couldn't have been more discouraged. And then the foul thing about it was lit in Harlem that day. So even if I went out there and tried to like look for something, that was not even an option. And when I definitely did get up to try to go look for him. But by the time I got up an hour later, he probably done left the borough at that point. You feel me? He could have been anywhere. But yeah, that was my random story about how I got scammed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do. In a sense, I can relate to Usain Bolt and his situation is basically what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I've been scammed before, so I'm not bringing up his situation to laugh at the brother. You know what I'm saying? Prayers and condolences, man. Yeah, we get scammed sometimes, bro. That happens, man. Everybody can't avoid getting scammed either. Willmatic TV, I got a lot of editing to do. I definitely have some, personal triumphs that I want to kind of keep in the tuck right now. I'm kind of just working. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm kind of just working right now. And I just feel like, man, just put your head down and do the work. I'm not even looking up for the accolades no more. I'm not looking up for the impressions. I don't even care about it anymore. I really don't. I truly don't, man. Put your head down, tuck your chin, and get to work, man. And stay out my way while I'm in the process of doing that. Yeah. So on that note right there, I think we're going to ride off into the sunset until the next time. E.B.C.G episode 18. You already know what it is. Willmatic, I've been your host. Thanks for tuning in. Be good, be great. Be on time, not late. Drink water. Pee. Be all you can be. WILLMATIC. That way.